Jerome Alexander with Magellan College Counseling, and I'm here in my continuing effort to introduce you to the members, the wonderful members of the Magellan College Counseling team. I'm here with Kathy Kelleher, who is based in the Oak Park suburb of Chicago. And I met Kathy about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago at this point, at a professional conference, because that's what we do. We spend a lot of time going to conferences and keeping our information up to date, which is super important these days. And you know what? We had one of those hit it off moments. We spoke many times during the course of that conference, and subsequently I invited her to join our team, and she has been a fabulous addition to our team. So I'm thrilled to introduce you to her, and she's going to tell us just a little bit about her journey to college counseling. She's done some really interesting things and also has 4 children of her own. So Kathy, why don't you tell us a little bit about what brought you to college counseling?
Thanks a lot, Evelyn. And boy, am I glad we had that conversation a year and a half ago. Team Penguin, go. I love my job. So hello, everybody. And as Evelyn said, I think it's really important to tell you a little bit about my journey and how I ended up where I am today. So I've always been a huge advocate of education, and I am a first-gen college student myself. Neither of my parents went to college, but they really wanted their kids to go, but didn't know how to get us there. So I relied very heavily on others. I was carried a lot on the shoulders of others in high school who guided me through the college process. And I ended up going to the University of Notre Dame, and that experience changed my life. It changed my life forever. And so I really see the huge benefits of an education. And so after I graduated from Notre Dame, I went on into business, and I worked in advertising and marketing for quite a few years, and then decided that I wanted to stay home and raise my kids. So that's what I did. And I always I have 4 children, as you mentioned earlier. And while I was raising my kids, I always had this pull. I always wanted to be involved in business in some way. And the way I found to work best with raising 4 kids that are all really close together in age was to do volunteer work. So I began volunteering for a college prep high school here in Oak Park. And I was on the board for 10 years. In the last 2 years, I chaired the board. And I got a lot of insight into how complex the college admissions process had become. Was totally different from when I applied. And I being on the board side of it, I could really hear the stories of how stressed out kids were and how stressed out parents were. And I could appreciate that because I had both kids and I am a parent. And then on top of that, I went through the process myself. So I managed the process for my own kids, and it was really exciting. And I enjoyed all the research of it. I was excited for them because they were planning the course of their life. And I found that I was really unlike my peers and the other parents that were going through it. I enjoyed it. So I thought, you know what, I think I could be really good at this. So I went to get more educated in the field, and I took a certificate program at UC Irvine, and that was a couple of years of a program, and then here I am.
Awesome, very cool. And tell us a little bit about the parts of this process that you enjoy the most, and the kind of student that you enjoy working with the most.
Well, that's a hard question because I love what I do. I really love what I do, and it's hard to break it all down. But I would tell you that my favorite part of the process is working with the student. And I feel like I really connect very well with high school students. I have a lot of empathy for them because I think things are rough. It can be a tough time for them. But the type of student that I really enjoy working with, and I see a lot of students come into my office like this, they come in their sophomore year or the beginning of junior year, and they're pretty green, pretty timid, a little shy. They really don't know what they want to do. They haven't really put a lot of thought into it. Up until this point, the adults in their life have been really managing their life.
Yeah.
And I give them ownership. I turn the process over to them.
Love that.
And that's what's so exciting, because when the student I see who walks in my door at the beginning of junior year has totally transformed by the time they leave the spring of their senior year. They put in the work. We do a lot of work on trying to tease out, what are you looking for in your 4 years? These are your 4 years. So, how do you see it? What's important to you? And so we spend a lot of time trying to work through all of that so that we can then find out what the students' needs are, and then find the colleges that fit those needs the best. So that gives me a lot of satisfaction when I can see a student at the end of the process just be proud because they put in the work.
I love that you talk about ownership, because what that means, and if you're a parent and you're listening to Kathy talk about what she does, think about it this way. If your child has ownership, she's lightening your load as a parent. You as a parent probably feel the weight and the responsibility of making all of these choices about your child's journey. And the truth is, what Kathy does, and I think what most of us do, is we really do help the student feel that they own the process. That's a really beautiful way to put it.
Yeah, and I also find, like I said, when they own the process, there's so much more joy for them. Yes. And pride. Yep. When I throw it back at them and I say, well, what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Right.
So, and it's okay. I also think that this is a process for the beginning process for parents of
Yep.
letting go.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. Yes.
It's kind of the natural progression.
Yeah, which it's hard. It's a hard progression, but it's a really important turning point in a child's life.
Agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. So anything else you want to share about having gone to Notre Dame? People always have questions about that. Tell us about that experience a little bit.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Notre Dame was a perfect place for me. Mm-hmm. It was not too far away from home. And being a first-gen student, that was really important because I needed to be able to get back and forth. I loved Notre Dame football. Go Irish! It was such a great part of my experience. And I mean, I'm a big sports person, so that was really, really cool. And I found that, so we're talking a long time ago, and I know it's changed a lot. I mean, I barely recognize the campus when I go back now, but what I really felt back then for me, it was a community, and there was a large sense of nurturing, and which was really important, for my development. And I got an incredible education. And like I said, it opens doors for me all the time because there's so many people from this community around the world. So I'm a big fan.
Big fan. And by the way, if you can't tell from when she raised her arms like this, Kathy is our in-house bodybuilder.
Oh, I forgot.
Fun fact about Kathy.
Fun fact.
This is really helpful. I've been trying, like I said, I've been trying to, have conversations with everybody in our team to really give you a feel for what it's like to work with us. We're people. And really the admission process is really about being human. So that's why I started creating these videos, is to really help you see the human behind, Counselor Kathy.
Right.
So this was helpful. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I so appreciate the opportunity. It's I could talk about, like I said earlier, I love this. I could talk about this all day long. So I really appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're gonna close it down at that, and I hope that this has helped give you a feel for what Kathy's like.